What's going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another video. And so, as you might know from seeing some of my other videos, I'm in a slightly different locale and just kind of a change of scenery, as it were. And this is my comic wall, which typically is on the, I'm looking at it as y'all are looking at my back wall. And mainly I did that because just the time of day, the lighting was not really great over there. Agu Ramos, man, thanks for jumping in. And just got a couple of unboxings wanted to do. I don't know if anybody else has ever ordered from Comics Elite. I don't remember even how I found them, but ordered from them, ordered some different books, and please disregard the lawnmower in the background. That's my son being industrious. And yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so that's my comic wall. I routinely change it out. I do themes. So in order to get up on that wall, they either got to be slabs or they got to be signed books. So they're all either all or one of those or both of those. And I routinely change them out. So like sometimes, like this one's a Wolverine wall right now. These are all Batmans to then right there behind me. And so then this is a Spider-Man wall. This is a Cable wall right now. So they just change it up routinely. I've got boxes over here that I'll switch them out for. Comics for All People, what's going on? Thanks, CFAP, for stopping by and checking it out. If you're not going to stay very long, be sure to hit that like button on the way out. But so I ordered from Comics Elite, and then I was trying to get up enough order, but I didn't want to just do it for the sake of, hey, I'm going to do it to get free shipping. And then ends up they send out a notification the next day that, hey, this other comic's available. And I go, oh, yeah, of course they say it now. I couldn't combine shipping, so I ended up having to pay shipping for both. And they did come in two different boxes. However, they came at the same day. And so I was not really too pleased with how long it took me to get them. Some of that was my fault for high expectations, and some of it was their fault. But irregardless, got some pretty cool products. So this is not the famous Batman 89, but this is Batman 88, the Matina cover. And so I had ordered that from them early and got a 30% discount. I think that's the last time I'm going to be ordering from them. What's going on, Gray Man? Rod the Rican, thanks for joining me. I'm just unboxing a couple things with a little different look in the background. This is on the other side of my office. And so picked up X-Force number 7. And so since I picked up X-Force 8 this week, a little bit behind there. Batman's Grave number 5. Got the variant cover. I'm trying to remember who'd done this. Somebody Lee. It's not in Hunt Lee, but it's somebody else. The Amazing Spider-Man 39, Gwen Stacy variant. Wasn't big on the Gwen Stacy variants that were all across the Marvel books this week and last, but I felt this was kind of fitting considering she was a Spider-Man person and looked pretty cool looking at that. Batman Who Laughs 6. They had a cheap sale on this one. Pretty dope looking cover. This is a Jenny Frison cover. I had originally planned on being at C2E2 this week. Unfortunately, with work and some other stuff, closed on a couple of properties of mine that I had for sale. It just didn't work out logistically. So I'm going to enough cons this year to more than make up for that. But I had planned to get her to sign that. And of course, it wouldn't work because I didn't get the book till today. So NWI Geek, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate y'all stopping in these few minutes to check these unboxings out. This is a special Wolverine 1. They had two of these. One with the X-Force cover, with his X-Force costume, which is black and gray. And then they had his classic looking, not the original costume, but the classic costume during the Byrne days. of X-Men, and this is a homage cover. Well, I changed out. I used to have this one, the 340 up there, but it seems I've changed it out. So pretty cool Virgin variant there of the Wolverine. And I ordered this one, and then like the next day I noticed that they were out. So it seemed like it was a pretty hot book. And it seems like C2E2 had its own variant of that particular cover as well. Not really familiar with the artist, but I think he did a good job in capturing Wolverine and Hulk. So, like I said, Comics Elite wasn't too really pleased with the way things fell out. I sent them an email letting them know as such, just like, hey, FYI, as a business owner, and you know, the claws actually work on the homage, unlike the original. Well, that yeah, that's true. Well, perfected a little bit, Gray Man. I guess they came up with the times, but maybe a different artist. I was going to say a better artist because I'm not really a big McFarlane fan, but he's okay. I mean, he does better than me, and certainly he's done well for himself in the business world altogether. But I contacted C2E2. I said, look, I'm not trying to, you know, complain or anything like that. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. But I will tell you that as a business owner, if my folks were not doing what I needed them to do, I would like to know. And so I told them that, and they said, hey, sorry you feel that way. Here's the 15% off if you'll do business with us in the future. So I guess it remains to be seen. I probably will not order any new books from them anymore. My local LC, or my local LCS, my local comic shop, I'll get it out in a minute, gives me a 30% discount, and I can order the stuff. I just got to be proactive in ordering stuff and not wait till the deal. McFarlane claws on the original were horrible. Yeah, they were, but they were great back in the day. It's like, man, that is the bomb. But because I really like to have my books the week they come out, and so just weird like that, I guess. So this is the X-Men 6 that came out last week. The Mark Brooks. I mean, Mark Brooks is an awesome artist in the first place, but he really knocked it out of the park with this cover right here. They got a Virgin variant of it too, but I didn't get that one. And so pretty cool. I also picked up some oldies, Amazing Spider-Man, the latest run. That's number 4. Then I got number 3, which is the Tyler Kirkham variant. If you'll notice, I've got right here Tyler Kirkham art right there. And then also, well, it's behind me. It's the Joker cover that white sketch cover on the bottom. That is also a Tyler Kirkham sketch that I got for him to do. And JRK Comics, thanks. But I was going to get him to sign that at C2E2. I'll see him somewhere or another. Probably get him to sign that. Amazing Spider-Man number 5. This again of this current run. They were on the cheap, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to pay the shipping anyway. Divide it out over more books." Got Undiscovered Country number 3 and number 4. So got to play some catch up here on that story. You know, I'd give it an 8 so far. That's just me on Undiscovered Country, but we'll give it a couple more issues, and if not, we'll pick up something else. And got Darth Vader number 1, an Inhut Lee cover. I thought it was pretty BA, and so I picked that one up, and glad to add that to the PC. Now, they did throw a couple of books in here, it seems. It wasn't just because it was me or nothing. Probably do it with all of them, but the Dollar Comics version of Crisis on Infinite Earths, so pretty cool. And the Year of the Villain number 1 says only 25 cents, so haven't seen this, but pretty cool. Free's always good. And they sent me the Marvel Spotlight. So my mic went crazy for a minute. Might have just been me. Wow, my mic went crazy up in here. Also, last week was John's Comics for Kids' first live auction on YouTube. Picked up some goodies there. Picked up Extermination number 4. This is an homage to Uncanny X-Men. Was it 137? Yeah, 137, which it's like looking in a mirror right there. at 137 beside that pink cover, homage cover. So that was pretty cool. I already had that book, but it was in a lot of all the exterminations. And so, I said, hey, I'll pick it up because some of the covers I didn't have. Like this one right here, I had the Virgin variant, but I didn't have this one with the trade on it. And I had a couple of copies of one, but I didn't have this particular copy. And they were $1 for the set, so can't beat that. Extermination number 3. Again, the best thing about these are the Mark Brooks covers. Story's okay. I don't really dig Kid Cable, but I'm an X-Men fan, so I do overlook a lot of stuff. Also picked up The Dark Knight Returns, book number 2. A little scuffing over here on the side, but I was glad to add that to the old PC. Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. Picked this up on the cheap from him as well. I think I paid $1 for it. The current series and recently released book, so can't beat that. Comic Mag Musings. Thank you for joining us. I started to call this another Comic Musings, and so I didn't want you to sue me for some kind of trademark infringement or something, so I elected to some other wording. Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. Never heard of this. This is the number 4, so I'll probably put this in a box. I send that to somebody for free or something. I think this is Shattered Empire. Not really as familiar with what's going on. Bruce Moreau, man, been killing it on them videos. Been checking them out. I'm not as familiar with Power Rangers. Been picking up the Power Rangers and TMNT. Blame Two Brothers Comics for that. Getting me into that. Never really. All the 80s and 90s stuff that I used to watch on TV, the reason why they did that was not so much about the TV as what the toys and everything else. And so I was just like every kid of that age, I bought the TMNT stuff and all those other kind of toys. Transformers was real big into that, G.I. Joe. But some reason it never connected over to comics. I mean, I read comics separately. So it was like, okay, these are 2 separate defining lines. So I never was really big on reading Transformers, G.I. Joe, any of those comics. And Power Rangers was the same. But they got some really dope covers they've been coming out with. I would really like the TMNT Power Ranger stuff that's been coming out. So pick that up on the cheap from John's Comics with Kids auction. So that was pretty cool. I will also, my ramblings as they were, I recently used PGX for the first time. Now, I know a lot of people down on PGX, and there are a number of reasons. CGC seems to have the top of the market, and for good reason. Their cases are better. Resale price is better. But, this is stuff that I'm only going to put in the PC. CGC takes forever to clean or press stuff. The turnaround time on the other stuff's okay. It's just cleaning and pressing. But anyhow, and so I said, well, let me try PGX. And they were okay to work with, a little backwoods. They're not as up advanced as CGC, and that's fine because sometimes I'm that way. What I didn't think was fine, let me see if I can find it here. One of my comics had a hair, literally a hair. Now, I can understand hairs will get away from you. You wake up and poof, they're gone. So Big Will says, I have arrived. And Big Will, just for you, since you missed this earlier, I won't make you go back and watch the whole video, but check out that Wolverine 1 cover right there. Pretty dope. But yeah, so let's see if I can find, I think it was either the Batman one. Yeah, it's the Batman 251. And so to do it on a book, that was this cool. I mean, it's signed by Neil Adams. They pressed it out and got, went up a grade. And right here, don't know if you can really see it, but right here, there's a hair. So I guess as they were sealing it, their hair fell down. So again, I can relate. It fell in there and then they stamped it and put the little label on the top and said it's good. Again, mistakes happen. So I emailed them and I said, hey, I got my books, and for the most part, I'm pleased with your service. I just wanted to mention to you that I had a hair in my book. Now, this is kind of a weird thing, and I'm not, calling them because I'm somebody trying to get money for a bug in my coffee or something in my food, and I'm going to sue you for $3 million for this comic book. No, I mean, this can be righted because all I was going to do was to, when I go to get some pressing again, I was going to put that in the batch and I was going to let them reseal it for me and get that hair out of there. I didn't think that was too big of a deal. They have yet to contact me back. And so as of yesterday, I contacted them again by email and saying, hey, never heard nothing from you. The least that they could do would be to say, hey, look, we're not going to do anything. It's tough luck. Tough titty said the kitty. You ain't going to get nothing. But they didn't even answer my email. Come on. What kind of customer service is that? I know you're never going to be up to the level of CGC, but if you want to distinguish yourself from some of the bottom feeder slabbers, you got to do better than that, folks. PGX, come on, man. And I don't mean to go, off on this rant on them, but I mean, that's killing me here. I mean, I paid to SIG verify. I paid them to press it. I paid them to slab it. Paid them to ship it back to me, essentially. And you're just going to put the hair. I mean, I like their labels better than CBCS. Okay. And there's some other videos. If you want to check them out, I've talked about why I will not deal with CBCS. CGC, great. Okay. There's the other one, EGS, that I'm thinking about trying out just so I can say that I've done it. The hair is free. They might have said, hey, this guy needs some more hair, and so let's give him some more hair. Let's just put it in the slab. If they're going to give me some more hair, just give me a wig, put it in there. I'll take a picture and post it on Facebook or whatever and make myself look stupid, but don't put it in the middle of my Batman 251. So they put it in the middle of my Batman 251. And so they sealed it up there. I'm subscribing to everyone. Subscribe back, please. Purgatory Paul's book review. Thank you for stopping in. And look, Purgatory Paul's book review. That's a mouthful, but I guess you could say Southern Comic Geek is as well. Be sure to comment in the right video to make sure I don't forget you. Purgatory Paul had commented, I want to win in one of my other videos. For those of you who may have already, or for those of you who have not, I am doing a 400 subscriber giveaway. And so you want to comment in that video that says 400 subscriber giveaway at the bottom. I want to win, or I want to win, depending on your, whether you're from the north or the south. Or gray man, you can say, I want to win. I want to win, a little more pronunciation with it. So whatever way you want to do it, put it in there, and that's going to enter you into win. Okay. So that's pretty cool. And, if I make it to 300, if I make it to 300 by the 13th of March, there's going to be a second winner once we hit 400. So these are the books that you're going to have a chance to win, and that's Marvel Superheroes. That's the first appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy, 25-cent gooden, or you can choose Spider-Man #1, whichever one works for you. Amazing Spider-Man 347, another good one for you. Okay. Or if you're a slab type, you can make yours the Mighty Captain Marvel, Venomized, with some Clayton Crane goodness right there. So, it's up to you. But all you got to do is go to the 400 subscriber video, say I want to win in the comments, and you got to be subscribed to the channel. But I think that kind of goes without saying. So yeah, I mean, check it out, share it with your friends, because like I said, if we get to the 300 mark by the 13th, then we will have a second giveaway once the 400th subscriber one hits. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, or since we're still alive, you can hit me up in the comments on the side. But if not, be sure to comment to the right video so you don't get overlooked. I'm going to, I see the comments as they were on every video, and I'll try to catch them all. I just don't want to miss somebody inadvertently, especially someone that's subbed up and tries to do what is asked. So in the chat, we've got superhero reviews. Have you hit your milestone, which is much larger than mine, but maybe one day I'll get there. Superhero reviews. And we've got Batcave. What's going on? 1-2 Comic Talk. Greetings, community. Is it the one, or is it the both of you? And then Comic Mag Musings. I think you've got a live unboxing coming up. When? Go ahead and plug that in the chat. I think you've got a live unboxing coming up here pretty soon. And who else we got in the chat? Augie Ramos, I've already mentioned you, but hey, I'll mention you again. Cool cat from the other side of the U.S. and the Gray Man joining us from across the pond. Big Will has arrived. That's my neighbor in the next state over. Big Will, did you ever decide whether or not you were going to go to the Comic Con in Tupelo next weekend? Guys, it's cool. Yeah, you work. Hey, look, at least you can get to join the stuff. He can't do that at school. Saturday evening, great. Fantastic. So who else we got? Big Will, I asked you that. Musings, Bruce Monroe, don't know if you're still in the chat, but he's been dropping some good stuff as well. JRK Comics. Yeah, so we got 18 people in the chat. So thanks for joining me today. Can't. Well, I guess we'll have to get together maybe at the Huntsville Con. And if I'm not mistaken, MegaCon is the week of the Huntsville Con, isn't it, Big Will? Because I was on Disco After Dark last night, and JB was asking me whether or not I was going to be at MegaCon. And there are a lot of good people at MegaCon, but I would have to have a long drive, or I would have to pay the flight. So that kind of enters into my deal there. Still here about to bounce and head home. Well, Bruce Moreau, stay safe. God Tank, thanks for joining us today. Just did a little, a few unboxings, doing a little rant on PGX. I'm going to try EGS. Not that CGC is not the best. Obviously, you see a lot of these CGCs on the wall are ones that I did. I did not buy them that way. I don't typically buy comics that are already graded. It seems it's harder to get the deal on it. Yeah, that's kind of weighing into my thought process. Okay, I got a con that's got some cool guests and some comics that I can drive. No, I'm from Mississippi. And so I live south of Jackson, Mississippi, which is the capital. Don't tell anybody because it's not really worth telling anybody about. But I live about an hour south of Jackson, to kind of put it in perspective. And Superior Hero Review says lives in North Carolina now. So, hey, look, even though your state has North in the name, North is still kind of south, right? Just started my collection over, lost a lot moving, so sad. Look, Purgatory Paul's book review. Look, I understand how you feel. Others have felt the same way. As a matter of fact, those others being me mainly, because after all those years of collecting, this right here, this is not the exact copy, but this is a copy of the same book. And I got John Beatty to sign it for me at GalaxyCon last year. But this is the first Batman that I picked up off the shelf. Fresh off of the hype of Batman 89. This one was on the shelf, Batman 436. I picked it up. And so that's a replacement copy because I got rid of all my comics. Life happened, everything happened. I got rid of all my comics. And so last year, decided, hey, let's get back into collecting. One of the main things that got me back into collecting was watching various YouTube videos, people telling me about various books. House of X, Powers of 10 got me back in because I was always a big X-Men fan. And so now in the days of eBay, whereas before eBay didn't even exist, Al Gore hadn't even had a chance to invent the internet yet. Things were a little bit harder. Basically, you were confined to local comic shops, and back then I didn't have any money. So now that I've been blessed with resources, I found out quickly that I had to refine my collections because within the space of September until now, I have 3,400 comic books. Some of them you see on the wall, and the other ones are all boxes that start right here. So yeah, I had to quickly figure out how to confine and refine my collecting so I don't go all crazy. So I cut down on several books, focusing on certain keys, sketches, and signatures are kind of my thing right now. horror book review. Hey, cool. And I've never been a big horror guy, but I tell you, I do like Gideon Falls. I think Jeff Lemire and the artist is escaping me his name, but I think they knocked it out of the park. Macedon, thank you for stopping by. In long boxes or short boxes? Funny thing about that. So when I got back into collecting, my point of reference was back when I was younger. And so I always hated short boxes because that's more picking up I had to do, right? So I hated short boxes. So I said, well, I'm going to get a long box. Well, now that I'm older, I'm picking up those long boxes and I'm going, what in the crap was I thinking, man? I'm picking up this long box. I'm about to break my back. Especially when they're all, filled up. So I'm starting to buy a few more short boxes. Gideon Falls is a good read. Comic Man Musing says, thank you for that musing. You are correct, at least I believe. Yeah, autocorrect get you in trouble in a hurry. Yikes! Only got 1,800 after 40 years. Only trying to buy what I won't read and like. And that's the other thing, Scarpad, because my point of reference was when I was, a teenager. That was my point of reference. And so what I liked then, so a lot of what I went for were the 90s era books, like the Cable and the New Mutants and the X-Forces and all those kind of things, and did filled up those runs pretty quickly, mostly in dollar bins. But I found out that my tastes have somewhat changed. So I buy more indies now. Gideon Falls, I mentioned. Oblivion Song is another one. And some other ones are really, I read Dark Arc just here recently and liked it. There's some other indie stuff that I pick up every week. And whereas before, if there wasn't a superhero in tights, I didn't like it, right? Purgatory says Spider-Man's my fave. Yeah, I like Spider-Man. As you can see, got some key Spider-Man moments in Spider-Man lore right up here until I shuffle them around again and changed out all my longs for short. Well, Scarpad, I'm with you because that's about where I'm at. I've got some other books right here that I got to file in my Batman collection, and so kind of refine that. And that's another good point, and that's another part of how I've tried to refine my deal. So, am I okay? Do I like reading it, or do I like collecting it, or do I like both? Right. So, if I like reading it and collecting it, let's buy the floppy. If I might like reading it, but I'm not sure about collecting it, why don't I just buy the graphic novel? Because I really don't get the same enjoyment out of a digital comic. That's just me. I do like a physical copy in my hand. So, that's kind of where I'm at. So, similar thing, it sounds like, as everybody else. How long are we going to be live? I don't know, Big Will. I guess when I quit rambling, are you fixing to go live or something? Because if you are, we'll go ahead and, knock this thing off here. Yeah, and so I listen to a lot of other folks. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there in the comic book community that I can, rely upon for reviews. Whereas before, yeah, no, what were you talking about? Sorry about the hair right here, or are you talking about in the Batman? I'm sure, but space constraint, right? Oh, well, Big Will, I would let you join, man, but I don't know how to do that. Mr. Comics 89, Matt, thanks for joining me, man. Don't judge my Spider-Man collection up there. It's nowhere near the caliber of yours, but we try with what we can do. Got some few Spider-Man keys up there, but not near as many as what you do. Space constraint. That's the other thing too, because I've got to buy 2 more short boxes because I've got all these Batman that have to go in here somewhere, and I don't have the angle or the room for them in their current box. So I am getting there. Luckily, my wife talked to us after 20-something years to move 2 houses down and across the street, and I remodeled a house that's about 1,000 square foot bigger. And my part of the deal, kind of the compromise, as it were, was for me to get this room, which is the old living room. So you can imagine the size there. So that's kind of fortunate there, but eventually I'm going to be, kind of landlocked myself. There's other stuff in my office, the swords and the bookshelf with the sliding staircase, and my Marvel superheroes stand-up arcade and all those other kinds of stuff, that not just comics there. Sleepy Reader 666, hey there, appreciate you stopping by. Warlord, the man that needs to go to Vegas and win him some money, because this joker, every time he opens up a mystery box, he gets fire. I'm just going to get you to start ordering my mystery boxes for me, because you certainly have been hitting on all cylinders. Yeah, Big Will, that'd be cool. We can get together if you want to start it up and send me a link. We'll get together and talk her up. So everybody that's in this chat, if you want to kind of continue that conversation along the way, feel free to join me and Big Will in a little bit. Mad Mike's Comics, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. Let's see who we got. Mr. Comics 89 says, hey, I like this comic angle for the videos. Yeah, I read that earlier. Oh, LOL, I'm a hardline ASM collector. I don't judge. I just congratulate. Well, man, you've been picking up some fire, man. It must be things going good for you to be able to drop the Benjamins on all those collections you've been getting. And I think you've got a unboxing here pretty shortly. Is it next week, Matt? Pope Cerebus the First. Pope, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the compliment as well. As y'all can see, and y'all kind of figured, there is a theme. Like the second row currently is Captain America and Thanos, Captain America. Some Jim Steranko goodness right there, both signed by the man himself. Wednesday, hopefully. Yes, hopefully so. Alan Bellman, who worked at Timely Comics, that is his sketch cover he did for me. That's a copy of Civil War. Birthday is Sunday. Well, happy early birthday. I'll let Big Will sing to you. And then this is Captain America and Moon Knight, some David Finch goodness. So everything on the wall either has to be slabbed, signed, or both. So everything that you see up there, although you Mike can't see it from the camera, it is either slabbed, signed, or both. That's what the criteria to make it on my wall. And I routinely change it out because I get tired of looking at it. And I saw somebody do something like this on YouTube, and I said, I think that's what I want to do. I had this area right here open, so I was able to complete that. So the bottom rows are my Batman ones currently, and because I'm a Batman fan, there are certain characters that I'm a bigger fan of. I've got more options there. And Steranko's taking the wall a lot right now, because up there at the top. Trying to go opposite. There we go. Okay, you can't really see it, but up there is the legendary X-Men 50, the first new X-Men logo, the one they still use today, that Steranko says he created himself, with the Polaris cover, and then also 51s, both signed by Steranko. I've got Detective Comics, the Batman 1960s edition, the Detective Comics 1000, signed by Steranko. And then I've got Captain America 110 as well as 111, both signed by Steranko. So Steranko is taking his seat on my wall, at least for right now. 48 years young. Look, I used to think that 48 was old. I used to think that 30 was old. But when I started passing those marks, I didn't really care anymore. Did you get that? I did not. I found out about that after the fact. Steranko is really cool, and I know some of you might have heard some of my musings on and ramblings on Steranko before, but he's a really cool cat. And sometimes these guys, not to call any names, but Neil Adams, sometimes when they get to a certain level in their career, they get to be, old codgers, and they're really like, okay, just give me your money, kid, get out of the way. But and then some people complain because Steranko takes so long in the lines, because he talks to everybody. He's like, man, what do you like? He tells you all these stories to go along with everything. I love it because none of the stories are the same, and I sit there and listen to everybody's story. And then when I get up there, I get my own story about something else. And so it was really great for me. That's part of the deal. This is so funny. PGX. I was rambling about them earlier, so in full disclosure, PGX just emailed me. Maybe they were watching my YouTube channel. I feel special. But no, it's probably just a large coincidence, but they just mailed me. Sorry about the late reply. If you give us a call, maybe able to help you better help me, or I'll ramble on you again. So I just picked up one of the History of Comics volumes today. Yeah, amazing cover. Steranko, goodness, for sure. The Hoosier Nerd. Um, thank you for stopping by. And so, hey guys, I really appreciate all 18 of you that are currently in there. And Big Will says, send me your email on IG. I've got it set up for 15. For 15 after. Okay, great. I'll send you a message in just a few minutes, Big Will, and we will get that done. Again, be sure to check out my 400 subscriber video giveaway. I appreciate every one of you, all 16 of you that are still in the chat. As you exit the chat, be sure to hit that thumbs up for me. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and go to the 400 subscriber video so you can get rewarded for being a subscriber to the channel. As always, I appreciate the larger comic book community of YouTube joining me in my comic musings and collectings. And I've got a chance over the course of the last few months to meet several of you on different live streams, chatted it up with you in the chats, and appreciate the camaraderie that the comic book community puts out there. So stay real, and until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.